Well, hi and welcome to another teleclass. I'm Tarran, Deane, your host for this how-to or Tarran tip on how to use Canva. Now, whether you're a speaker, an expert, an influencer, or one of the leaders that I work with and you're watching this on replay, the whole purpose of using a tool like Canva is to help you leverage your time and your financial resources. You see, it's one of the low-cost, clever, fun ways to actually create collateral that helps position you as an individual brand, a person of influence, and in my case with the clients I work with, to help them communicate change quickly to their internal customers, their staff, and to their external customers, their strategic partners and suppliers. So let's get cracking and dive right in. So I'm going to share my screen. You see, in this instance, I want you to have complete behind the scenes access to what I'm doing. So I'm just going to drag our thumbnails down and let's see if I can actually hide those completely for this purpose, because we're going to need to see the full screen. So if you're new to Canva, it's simply a case, now I've already logged in, it's simply a case of going to the URL canva.com, like blank canvas, but without the S, canva.com. Create an account, it's free. I, however, have chosen to create a team, so I pay roughly $10 a month for that privilege, and my virtual staff also come in and use this account. There are pro-level options available to you, including agency, where you're able to bring your clients in and create content for them. They come in and view it and give their approval and move on. That's certainly something that we're looking at as a potential support system for our clients who are in complex change environments. But for you on the call right now or watching the replay, my intention is just to share some of the fundamentals with you and how I use Canva. So if I just show you what's available here, you can see on the left-hand side of the screen the option Create a Design, and then you can see all your designs. Now, when you start, if you're new to this, you're just going to see the Create a Design field, and it looks like this. There's a whole range of pre-existing, pre-sized templates, and haven't we all had trouble at times just working out what size is the Facebook thumbnail, the cover photo, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc., and more. Well, Canva's taken all the hard work out of it. You see, they employ designers who come in and put templates up for you and I to use without having to go through third-party tools like 99 Designs or even Fiverr.com. And I love Fiverr for certain projects, but for speed, Canva's my go-to, and I've learnt to love it. So as you scroll down, these are some of the options that are available to you. So they have recommended, and you can see here it's usually social media and presentation templates, social media posts, documents, blogging and ebooks. Who's wanted a blog cover or a ebook cover before? Most of us have when we're compiling reports or we're actually creating our own written content for sale or a lead magnet on our website. Marketing materials, there's some really good stuff in here. Posters, you can see over here. The social media headers, and this is one that I've been working on lately. I've wanted to refine my online presence with YouTube. I do a lot through social media, traditional platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Google. And I realized I'd dropped the ball and I hadn't been carrying over the same sort of pizzazz to my YouTube channel. So I'll show you what I've been doing with that. Then you can see here it goes on, even for Etsy, email header. If you're wanting to stay in touch with your database, that's really a great tool here that you can use. So what happens if you click on one of these? Well, let's go into designs that I've prepared earlier. Well, let me show you this first. Let's take this YouTube one. You click on the YouTube thumbnail and it opens up. It's like opening the front door of the house. You've chosen which house in the street you want, which is your template. You've gone to the front door, you've opened the front door, you've looked inside, and here in the YouTube thumbnail, awesome. You can see here that it gives you a whole range of options. There we go. We're muting other callers, which is great. You can see there's a whole range of options here that you can use for various templates. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you're new at this, you can choose a particular style, or you can mix and match particular elements. This is what I love. Now, let me go, I'll keep this tab open. Let me go back here to the main template. And remember, I shared with you that if you're new to Canva, you create a design. If you've been using it for a while, you may want to duplicate a template that you've already created. So I'm going to click the X there, which brings up designs that I've done previously. So you remember I was talking with you about YouTube thumbnails. Look what I've been working on. So here with my social media, I have pre-existing color themes for every day of the week. So I run a leadership development company called Corporate Cinderella. 7 days a week, we post on one particular aspect of leadership, and they're color coded. And that's strategic because, you see, I want to be able to, at the end of a certain period, whether it's 3, 6, 9 or 12 months, I want to be able to export all those images which have my content, my URL on them, and I want to be able to export them into a PDF. So there's a document I can use as a lead magnet, or I can have it printed as a small giveaway book for conferences and events. And so I've wanted to carry over and that intention and be faithful to the color schemes and do the same thing on YouTube. What I have done is vary from the traditional blue that I wear when, across most of my social media thumbnails. So I've gone a darker color. I've just gone black and white on the same image, rotated it left or right. They call it flipping in Canva. So let me take you into one of these. When you're using Canva, I encourage you to give thought to how does this element of design fit with your own style guide? What are you using currently as your key font and your secondary font? So your main headline and then your subtitle. And then what are your color schemes with it? So you can see here, I'll just minimize, reduce the size of this so you can see them together. So there's a couple of different styles that I've put in here. So there's Lead Gothic as a font. And then here we have these other styles. And so I was asking my staff, what do you like best? What works? So this is one example of what we've done. And so when a team member comes in and uses it, you can actually go straight in and create this as your style guide in your albums. So let's take a look at the menu items on the top and then down the side here at Canva. So with a file, this actually lets you, when you click on that, it lets you know the size of what you're working on, gives you the capacity to change the dimensions, and then the magic resize. If I wanted to, I could actually click on Magic Resize and I could choose to recreate this as a Pinterest graphic size, because you see here we were in YouTube as a master thumbnail, right? And what it was doing was holding true to a larger size. So let's go back here. You click on it. So the YouTube thumbnail size is 1280 by 720. But if I want to do a Magic Resize, if I was to do Twitter, so I'll click on this. If I was to click on this, it would magically resize it. Da-da-da. Come play the game. There we go. Magic Resize. It does all the work for me. It has now changed it to a Twitter size template. So if you click on here, it's now a Twitter post. What's important is that you come in here and you change it to Twitter thumbnail size. And if you want to, if you know what that size is, which is 1024 by 512, I'm in metric. You pop it in here, so that way you're not using your brain over and over again to go, oh, what's the right size with this? You simply go in and take a look. So let's have a look here at the moment. Donna, you're asking, is that option only available on the paid version? I'm not really sure, Donna. I just knew what I wanted to access in terms of functionality. So if you're seeing these features available in your Canva account and you're on the basic level, then no, you've got access too. So again, I'm just running from the $10 a month program that I use, and I love it. Just taking a moment to look at conversations. Oh, look at that, Pegeen. You put your headphones in and you can hear. Beautiful. Great to have your company. So we're going through, just at the moment, I'll check in with comments periodically. So again, we're looking at the top functionality of Canva, and you can also make a copy of this. So let's close the Twitter thumbnail because I don't want to confuse what we've been working on. I'll close that one. So let's come back here. If you wanted to create a duplicate, you go make a copy. It loads. Over time, it loads. You can see it's slow. We're asking it to do a lot. Host, Zoom, plus go into a large graphic site. So it's taking a moment. So you can see here it's a copy of the master. Now, if I wanted to, I could actually click on this block of color, go in here, quickly change it to a different color. If I wanted to change the text, like in a Word document or something else, you can either double click on one particular word, or you do Control A, or in my case, Command A on a Mac. You can then go into the font color, rapidly change that, etc. And then you have the title here. So you may wish to put in aqua scheme for color, that sort of thing. So I hope this is helping you. So let's cancel that now because I don't want to use it. Yes, I do want to leave. Thank you very much. So let me check back in here for comments. Can I just review the template? Yeah, absolutely. So what we were sharing here, Pegeen, is, or for anyone that's joining the recording, how we got to that was on the Creator Design page. You can go through and select any one of these templates. Now, again, I'm on the monthly paid program. I pay about $10 a month. Recently, I've wanted to update my YouTube thumbnails. So this is like going into a street and choosing a house on the street you want to go into. So I want to go into the YouTube house. I go and knock on the front door, and they let me in, and look at all the rooms I can go and play in. So I can go and play in a particular room. Now, what you were seeing a moment ago was my template, and I used this free one to create what you saw here. So I used that template to create that. Cool, huh? So I'm going to bring you up so we can see a little bit more. So let's see. Okay. Okay, so you've seen that this is my master, and this is the template I use. So this is the room in the house. So I just want to show you how I did that. I'll make this a little bit smaller so we can hopefully just see it here. And we get both the screen and your gorgeous faces in there as well. Okay, so are you interested in seeing how I took that template and created that? Yes? Okay. You know what? I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to show you the nice one that I did finish so that you can see. I want you to see like this one. I want you to see this one as the example because it's got some shapes on it, whereas the other one didn't. So in this, this example, okay, so there's the template that I used, and this is what I ended up with. Very cool, right? So I've created the grey colour scheme for my reviews and media that I'm putting up as a playlist on YouTube. So again, I used this as the room in the house that I went to. So I'm going to walk you through it. The first thing that I did is actually deleted their image. And that's simply a case of going into the photo space, click on it, delete, and it still holds this, which is the drag and drop template. If you're familiar with Mac, you'd be familiar with pages where you can literally just take an image and drag it and drop it straight into that placeholder. So where do you get the photos from? Well, there's a couple of options. On the left menu bar, you see down here, you can search for an image. We've gone into the layout for the templates. You can add text, you can change the background, and you can upload photos. So in my case, I've uploaded images. And before I dive into how you replace the image there, let me just share with you a mistake that I made. When I was first starting out, I didn't understand the complete functionality with this. Now, perhaps this is a feature solely of the paid version, so I'm not sure if you're on the basic free version. But what I've done is I'd been uploading images and I had been just putting them up in what's called the upload folder, and it was becoming really difficult to sort through because I have multiple images in here, like multiple, about 120 images. And so sorting through them has become problematic. Then I realized, hang on a minute, look at this option that exists here on the left. It's called a new folder. So I could actually go in and create a folder, give it a name, and then click on that folder, which I've just called Teleclass, and I can upload my own image directly into that folder to make it really easy to retrieve it. So let's say I wanted to put these images in. I'm only doing one at a time because if you do a bulk upload, it really does slow it down. And if you're then working on a project at the same time, it can be really frustrating. So just upload one image at a time. I know, right? Pegeen, yes. Yes. Folders, yes. So keep an eye on the chat bar if you're joining this conversation, or if you're watching the playback, the text file will be included there as well. So what I've done is upload one of the tutorials, screenshots I should say, and then I've just not followed my own advice and only loaded up one. So I've put those images in there. You can see it lets you know the rising tide mark. As to the progress, you've also got the green progress bar along the bottom. So these first two have uploaded. The third one's still taking a little bit of time. And I have the morning sun shining in on me and making it really hard to see the screen. So I'm really sorry. Okay, so here's the Teleclass folder that I've created, but I don't actually want to use those images, right? For this example, it was just merely to show you the functionality of the albums. You know, I mentioned how I do my social media every day of the week. So I have the Signature 7 leadership framework, and each day is a particular color scheme. Well, I've created the template, and then I've imported the template into a folder. Well, so I thought. I haven't. I've created the folders. This is where they should go. So where are the templates? I think they are still in here. Scrolling down, scrolling down. No, they're not. So note to self, continuous quality improvement requires that I actually upload those templates to that folder so as to not be embarrassed when delivering one's own teleclass. Paching. So let that be a lesson to oneself. So let's go out of there. Let me show you this example. So this is a template that I created that I'm not using as the fill image here, but this is a template I created for social media to promote my book. And I have then uploaded that template, as you can see here, into my own uploads folder. So that's item 1. So if I move that over to here, you can see that it does want to drag and drop and fill the space of that frame that we've just deleted the template image from. So what's important is that you choose an image that's actually going to look good for the size of the room that you're taking your people into. But for this purpose, I'm just showing you the difference here of what I created there. So that's the template. And then this is what my VA's gone in and created. So she's used my template, then she's used elements by clicking on here, typing in quotation, and then she's brought in the little quotes at the top and the bottom. She's color schemed them to match the rest of the template and then entered the text in. How cool is that, right? Amazing. So that goes out as a 4th post. We've started doing that in the last week so that we're boosting the sales of books and immersion retreats. Looking at the conversations happening in the sidebar. Folders are in the paid version. Good reason to pay $10 a month. That's right. Love it. Okay. So remember this. Let me just come back to that's what I want to show you how I did, because it's a little bit more advanced. So here, the basic is that you choose an image. So here's a professional photo that I had done recently. This was the unfiltered version. So you can see this is color. Here's one that's color, and I want to make it black and white. Now, let me show you some features here. Holding the left mouse down, you can drag up or down. So if you want that in there, you can keep it in there, or you can just focus on your image. So what you do then, when you've got it in position, you go, yep, that's okay, let's hold that. But look, it's over my face. So I have a choice. Either I can move the text area here over to the left, or I can play around with the image a little bit. And you see across the top white menu bar here, this white menu bar is actually for you to edit what's within the graphic frame. I want to flip that image. So here's a quick tip. Click on flip horizontally, and it moves your face. It literally flips the image around. Of course, the pitfall is that if you have text in the image, you need to make sure that you can actually read it. Okay, so that's not too bad, but it's still not quite what I want. So I can enlarge the photo by dragging it down on the right and then reposition it. So I go over to the side even more. It does mean that the image itself is bigger than the frame, as you can see, but I'm happy with that. So I do that. And you know what? I think I would like that over that way a little bit more. So move that over. Moving that up. Now, with our photos, we all know that our images can also, once downloaded, then uploaded to our website or for any promotional material that we do, can also be indexed by Google. So it's really important not to just have this great hot image that communicates a message. It's really important that you actually put your logo on it, something that says this is you. So if it moves around the web without your knowledge, it's actually taking your brand with you, not just a great headshot. So here's a couple of things that I do then. If I go back here to, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. I want to get rid of the quotation search because I don't want to do that. I click on the folder to close it again. I want to go into the logos where I have uploaded my 2 logos. One's for our company, Corporate Cinderella. And the other one is for my personal logo. So if I drag that across, it automatically wants to fill the frame. Do not release your left mouse button. So I use a Mac, so at the same time I'm dragging with my right hand, I'm holding the left part of the keyboard down, the mouse pad down, so I can drag it. So instead of it wanting to take over this frame, I actually want it to sit on top of that frame. So that's what you're seeing there. If I released it, so let's just cancel that. If I drag that over and I let it go, that fills the back of that frame and it takes the place of the photo that I put there. So instead, by Command Z for undo or Control Z for undo, that logo is now back over here and I've returned to my main image. So let's repeat it. Left mouse button down, drag across, keep dragging till you have it in position. Then you can simply resize as you would any normal image, and you can put that here or anywhere you want on your photo. If you do want it to go over here, and this is where it can be a little bit more complicated, you actually want it to go into a photo frame. So you would want it to sit within its own picture frame. Like that. So I haven't chosen the correct size, but I think you get the gist, yeah? So that's some of the beauty of the elements that you have there. There are different things that you can put over the top of your images. So let me just get rid of that photo frame there and go back to this. I'm going to check in with comments.
Tarran,
yeah.
Why do you put a photo frame?
The photo frame acts as a placeholder because the only thing that doesn't need a frame is text. So anytime you have an image of any kind, it needs to have a place to sit, because you'll see here now this document has a number of elements. So it has, at the bottom, it has the Tarran photo, then it has the blue box, then it has the white text, then it has my logo. So it actually has 4 elements. And there's a feature here called Arrange. So if I was to click Arrange, given that I've highlighted the Tarran photo, which is on the bottom layer, I can move that image forward and it hides the blue bar. See that? If I want to keep moving it forward, it's going to hide over the text. It's going to go above the text. It's going to go above my logo. And you can see just to the left of this box here, when I make a move, the dots come up to the left here, just in this spot. So look, so it lets you know there are actually 5 layers. See those small dots? Now the blue comes back. So this is a great way of actually adjusting an image without having to go delete, paste, delete, paste. You can simply reposition it. So that doesn't look too bad either without the blue. Does that answer your question there, Pegeen? Happy for the conversation to happen out loud.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes. That was really, I've been using, I didn't realize about the little blue dots. All these little tricks.
Yeah, I know, right? And it's a lot of it's just trial and error and discovery. And what I like about Canva is there's no other external distractions. There's no Facebook. It's just I'm in there and I go, what do I want? What is the purpose of communicating this message? Is it on brand? What does it say? Now remember, hang on, so go back there. Remember what we're aiming for here is this sort of concept. So I just wanted to show you how I get to the grey and how I bring in these 2 elements. So it's not with the intention that you copy this as your own template, but rather you are able to look at how it happens. So let's say
Too late, Tarran. We're copying the template.
I know, it's good though, right? I'm like, oh, I love it. So here's this great image here, but let me see. If I wanted to put a shape in, if I wanted to get a play button like that, let's make it play my YouTube so you know what it's in relation to. So highlight that, make your text smaller, 56 ought to do it, drag it out, reposition it, play my YouTube. So we have to give them, you know, if we're going to insert a shape, it has to be relevant to the text. Otherwise, it's a confusing message for the viewer. So this is loading. So there's a range of shape options. So here's something I learned. If you want a play button, drag over the O. Now with shapes, they don't need a frame. Images need a frame. So logos are a JPEG, a JPG file, or a PNG file. So here's what I'm doing. I'm resizing this, making it a little bit smaller. I'm dragging it up here. Now I want to change the color. Now I have created my palette. So there's a default palette, but I've created my own palette here as my primaries. So let's say I don't want to use any of those and I want to use this color. That's pretty easy. You simply go highlight this, come over here to the color box in the top left. If you click on the plus sign, you can, no. Add another palette. Nope, that is too advanced. You don't need that. There's a tool you can use, which you can see here on my menu bar. It actually is called a color picker. So if there's any color that you have on your website and you have forgotten what the color code is for it, you can download this free plugin for your browser. Now, I use Chrome as my default browser, so I'm not sure about others like Firefox or Internet Explorer. But you can go pick color from web page and you move your mouse and it literally, you can see down the bottom on the screen here, when I move my mouse over, it is actually picking up the color that I want to copy. So I want that play button to be the same color as the side panel. So now I go back into color picker and it has given me the color code. It's royal blue. So I go copy, come back here. I can then go plus, and I don't have to try and move that cursor there to get the same color scheme. I simply Control V or Command V, and now my circle is the same color blue as the side panel, which is pretty cool. But how do I get that play button? Well, come down here for another shape. Let's take you straight to, no, we don't want that one. I want solid. Go to a triangle. So triangle, for any other purpose, is actually a play button. So we click on this little rotate, becomes a play button. You reposition it for the size that you want. That'll do. Come back up here to your color. I want white, and there's my play button. How funky is that? I'm so impressed with myself right now. Then you come back to your image here. Now I've inadvertently closed that other window. So I'm checking in with you now for tips. I should be impressed. I know. Ta-da! So how can I keep you all over to one side so I can see what you're doing there? Perfect. So what do I need to do? I need to show you how to apply a filter, right? So this is very cool. If you click on the filter button, so back step, I've highlighted my image. Can you see that? So I click on the image, then these functions open up. If I'm not on my image, you don't see that menu bar. You don't see it here. You only see it over a photo. So this feature, filter, crop, flip, or space. Remember, we did the flip. So we flipped me horizontally, or we flip back this way. If you wanted to, you could go vertical, but that's only if your world's turned upside down. Paching, mum joke. So filter. What I've chosen, there's a range of different looks, and this is a little bit of a limitation on the system. There we go. Let me do it that way. In terms of what you can see. So if you're applying a filter and you only have one image up, you don't get to see below the menu bar. So what I've done is trick the system, and I've I've used this feature here, which is duplicate the square, copy this page. And I'm doing that so that we can see what is actually beneath there. I've duplicated it here. I'm going to edit this one, and then I can go back in and trash the top one when I've finished. So let me show you the differences. Just keep an eye on my image and you can see what happens with the filters. And I've used this one for cover sheet for my speaking relationship agreement because I think it's strong. I quite like it. Strong but feminine. That one's okay, but it's a warmer colour. And you can continue to scroll over. Festive, grey, Nordic, retro, rosy, selfie. And it all gives a different look. This is my favourite, street. So I use that quite a bit. You'll see that starting to appear more and more in YouTube. And I've literally this morning just received an SMS from the photographer that the rest of my images have been edited. So I began that process in August. So he's sent that file through to me and I'll begin rolling out some new images. And Canva gives me creative design authority over this without needing to outsource and spend a lot of money when I don't really know what I'm asking for. It just gives me the room to sit down with a cup of tea or a travel mug and just play around with it. So the other advanced options here, so I've selected street. The other advanced options, and again, a limitation is you can't see the effect of this while your image is tucked underneath the filter toolbar. So you've just got to play around with it. So if I wanted brightness, you can see just partially, just underneath here, that darkening, but you don't get to proof it until you've actually gone out of the filter. So that's one way of creating a YouTube thumbnail. So there's two different images that are there. Two different looks from the same image. Other features that you might want to do if you want to change this and you don't want this shape, you can make it smaller. You can drag it across. You can put your Play My YouTube down here and drag that along and it will go on the bottom here. Click your play button and you can have your tips there. And again, it's a different look, so you can just play with it and move it around. You can make that a little bit smaller. Change the height. I wouldn't use this particular image because I'd like to have just a little bit below the collarbone, just to bring the proportion in image.
Melda, do you use Canva?
She's heard about it, but new.
I like the way you're thinking about it, Tarran. Yep. And sorry for my no video. We don't know what's happening with my video.
Oh, right. Yep.
No, I'm definitely going to use it, but I'd heard it several times, so now I'm getting a hands-on demonstration.
It's great.
I'm comfortable with playing around with things, so yeah.
Yeah, I really, really love how you did Tarran did the templates.
Yeah.
Your own personal templates and the file system. Because it's been driving me crazy. I have all the stuff, but I really like that. So I love that you did the one page. Never dawned on me to do that little copy thing on that page.
What do you mean?
You know,
which bit?
Well, so if you see on these pictures, you have two pictures.
Yeah.
Kind of that if you said, okay, this is my Play My YouTube, what you were showing us before is you had like a numbered 1, 2, 3, so you could hand it off to somebody.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That template piece was awesome. I mean, really awesome. And then your file system with the uploads, you just saved me hours because I know I have so many uploads that I didn't know that I could do this.
Well,
this file system.
it's a really great option. Like I didn't realize the advantages when I first started, and I ended up with roughly 200 images in there. So I've just been slowly creating the different albums. Like, it made sense, have the logos there. Now, Canva gives you the option also to import some photos from your Facebook group. So if you've gone to an event, or your images that you nominate, if you go to an event and there's a bunch of photos taken, it's a great way of just going, yeah, pull that in off that group, and then you can go in and eliminate without having to download to your computer and then upload to Facebook. It just, sorry.
How do you do that?
Well, let's click on Facebook.
Oh.
So you can pull in, I haven't done this for a long time because I've just uploaded my own images, but there is a way. There is a way, and I can't remember. So we need.
That's right. I'll figure it out. But this is great.
Yeah. So
yeah.
And Valda, one of the other things that you may not be aware of, and Pegeen, I'm thinking you might be, is if there's a photo that you're looking for example, I did a presentation recently for Professional Speakers Australia on leading speakers and how to get to member. And I wanted to just highlight this issue of too many people gather business cards and then leave them in a box in the corner, and it's like leaving people playing Twister in the corner of your office, and they're all tangled up and they're people. Each card represents a person. So what I did was I used the feature here, typed in Twister. Then I got all these weather patterns and I went, no. Then I went people, and it refines the search. So it allows you to buy stock images for $1 at a time. So for example, if I wanted to replace that image, I highlight it, click it, I drag and drop the Twister image in. I need to make sure that the actual reason it exists is visible, i.e. that people can actually see it is about Twister. So let's assume that that's up here and get that out of the way. So here's a Twister image that communicates a message. So you'd reposition your text accordingly. So when you go to check out, you've seen here that to purchase the stock image, it says $1 off to the side. So only when you go to check out and you say, I want to buy image 3. Now this isn't going to work because I did buy this image yesterday, so it's not going to charge me again for 24 hours. So you have 24 hours to go in and edit using that photo before you then have to pay another fee. So it's pretty cool. But let me go back and show you what I've done that links in with this. So as I mentioned, I ran the teleclass for Getting to Member. And in my speaking business, one of my signature 7 elements is on speaking leadership. So the business of speaking, how you can use that in your corporate career to actually communicate a message and lead change. So I created my keynote presentation and had that recorded, but I wanted to export the keynote slides as images, but I realized I didn't have my logo on them. And I realized I also had visible some of the IP that I was sharing with those on the call that I was later offering as a time-limited package. So I wanted to mask the high visibility of one particular template because it's part of the offer. I didn't want people to be able to copy it straight away, like just by looking at the image. So what I've done is you can see here on the right-hand screen how I shared with you the Twister image. You can see down here on the left, I'm just thinking what's the best way. Yeah. You can see here on the left, here is the template. Now, it's sitting, for some reason, my own upload is sitting on top of the placeholder frame. That's not common. That goes against what we've just shared about having to put an image into a photo frame. And I don't know why that's doing that. So let's just get rid of that. Now if I drag it, that theoretically should actually be going into this photo frame. There it is. So I just needed to position it effectively. It's too big for the frame. So I have the option to reduce the size down.
So Tarran, are you using, so this is what, so on the left-hand side, if I'm looking at this and I see all these teal colored things, are you actually making your Facebook, your slides in Canva now?
Some I am, but this was actually, just having a quick look. No, not for this purpose. Last night when I ran the teleclass, I created it in Keynote, in a Keynote template. But what I'm saying here is that I've then uploaded it to, I've exported the images after I finished the teleclass, and then I've brought them in here created a folder called program. And what I've done, I'm just having a look where, if I can show you here. So here's what I did last night. So using those images you saw in the upload, this is what I did. This is a design I created last night with them, just to dress them up and create something shareable out of them. So here, go over there. Oops. Thumbs are a bit light on. So here's that program. So what you're about to see is on these images, there is no thumbnail, as you see here on the right-hand side. There is no logo. So what I've done is, for example, I've imported this slide from Keynote, and then I've come in and I've sought to create this. I'm just going to move you girls to the side a bit, so I can see underneath. There we go. That's easier for us. So I've then used this photo frame. I've gone, what can I do that's a little bit funky, that ties in with my theme? So I went frame, speaking bubble, and it brought up these options. That wasn't where.
And then you put your picture into.
Yes. I'd have to fish around a little bit more for that, but
got it. You
can see it, right? So how nice does that look now? Because that then goes out everywhere. Here's how I masked that template. I just put
like a little, just a
blue box over it, and then I just simply went in and created the transparency at the level that I wanted. But now I can see these being used by my VA as a social media tip. So,
right.
So now I've created a multi-purpose template. And then here's my option. Here's my speaker's contract that I created as a 3-part document. And now that's okay like that. But here's that image that I showed you when I used that filter over it that I liked. So that's now on the front cover of the speaker's contract. So there you go.
Okay, so question.
Yes.
Go back to put your little mouse on those. Go towards it. So what is that hootlet thing that keeps on popping up?
Oh, so for me, I have installed on my browser here Hootlet. So I subscribe to Hootsuite, and we use Hootsuite to send out our social media scheduling. So I've noticed that, but I've not used it. So let's click on it and do a demo together. So when I say I've not used it within Canva to go in and, oh gee, I haven't logged in for a while. My VA manages my Hootsuite. So let's see if I have Hootsuite. See, I should not be doing this while you're while I'm sharing the screen. So because this is going into a recording. So let's just say that I should be able to, if it follows normal theory, is if I see an image on a website, I should be able to move my mouse over it. The hootlet comes up, and I should be able to, if it's my own image, not one that I haven't not yet paid for with Canva, I should be able to share directly onto my social media platform.
That's great.
Yes.
Because I use Hootsuite. I don't have a Hootlet. Do you have that up on you for you, Valda? Do you use Hootsuite like that? So that's again. Now I've learned 2 more things. So I learned the Hootlet thing.
Yep.
And I learned a little color picker thing.
Color picker is great. I really like that.
Hootsuite, but I didn't know about the other part. Is that just something that's on Canva when you get the Hootlet? Is that just part of the Canva deal?
No, with Hootlet, it is a plugin that if you go onto Chrome App Store, and just type in Hootsuite plugin, it should come up there. I've had it resting there for a long time, but don't use it that often, truth be told. I'm just thinking, to make this worth your while, if I will continue to bring the gold, if I close out of that one, come back here, let me just scroll down and show you what I've got in my library of what I've done, and you tell me if there's anything you want to know more about or how-tos. So these color side ones are my daily social media.
So go back to that. See what it says
Thinkific
banner?
So,
what is that?
So I am launching this week my 90 Days Ideas to Execution Action Plan e-course, and I'm setting up the Thinkific channel. And I have had a look at what other people are doing for their banner on their online learning platform. And I wanted something that told a story around some of what I do. So I used Canva to create a frame that fits the dimensions that Thinkific need. So I went straight in and looked at what size is the Thinkific banner. And then I've chosen images that I've uploaded that demonstrate I do a class, I speak at conferences, here's a work group, oh, isn't that a lovely photo? And look, here's me mentoring someone. So with that, I've then created that image. Because I'm not making any changes now, I'll just confirm Valda, because Pegeen and I know how to use it. You click to get the photo down to your computer. You click on download. You have a couple of options here around what format you download. If you're intending to use it in printed material, download as a JPEG. It's a higher resolution. If you're downloading as a PNG file, that is still a good quality resolution, but it takes up less pixel space. And so it is faster to load and it won't bog your website down. So that's a really good feature that I've learned. Nonetheless, some images can be quite heavy. So once you've downloaded it, you may find when you're uploading it to your WordPress site that it's still too big. So I'll tackle that in just a moment. If, however, you wanted to download something as a PDF document to use as a cover sheet for your speaker relationship or agreement or promotional, then choose either standard or print. This I saw last night, ladies.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I've been getting a lot that using that feature whenever I've now put up a image done like this, especially in Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot more response. It's been pretty
amazing. Yeah. See, it's not really effective for that one for me, but when I tested it last night, I tested it on come back here I tested it on this. I think it was this one. and the building blocks. Oh no, it was this one. This one maybe. I was just really taken with it. I just went, oh my, this is, check this out, Valda, because it could be great for your website. And even on LinkedIn, you can upload movies now, like video. So as long as you're embedding this onto YouTube, look at this. I just like what it does in positioning.
And so I've downloaded some of my things as a movie, and then uploaded them with my background music.
Great.
On YouTube.
Yeah, smart, really smart. So, well done, Pegeen, because you're leaping ahead. I didn't even realize that feature existed, because it just, go ahead.
But I love what you did. You're making me think again. You always make me think, and then
we inspire each other.
Because like that leader speaker, the leading speakers with Tarran.
Yeah.
Concept of having everything there is really awesome. I mean, last night I did my, I do a three-part brochure that I'm able to handle. I did last night for a program that I did.
Yeah.
My capability statement, my newsletter, which actually, Valda, if you ever wanted to do a magazine, you too, Tarran, their magazine feature is awesome.
Yeah, I've done that for a coaching package that I deliver. Ladies, can I just pause for a moment? Shireen McHenry, thank you for joining us. My apologies. I didn't realize you were in the waiting room. I hope you're there. Feel free to open your video and your microphone, and we'll make sure that you also get a copy of the recording from this. Sorry that you were outside waiting for us to open the front door of the house. Welcome. I'm going to just pause for 1 sec. I want to show you, Pegeen, what I did with that magazine. Hang on 1 sec.
She ran away from us, Valda. Hey, Shireen.
Okay, I'm back. Look what I did. So this is my coaching workbook.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So I printed out the PDF document that I created on Canva.
Yeah.
So love that.
It makes such a huge difference in how it looks. And I used for a presentation, I used in the creative design.
Yeah.
They have presentations.
Yeah.
The presentation slide.
Yeah.
The slides that you could choose from, and some of them work great, and some of them, are okay. But some of the quality of it is, when you have the template, it could make it really, 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 really look.
Well, exactly.
just different. And then when you get that little flippy paper thing, see where it says. Then when you click on that,
there's 11 slides in the template.
Right, but those are all the slides available, and I could use those slides. Remember, now you're making me realize I can use those slides to make a series of quotes, like you had, and then save them, and then do the resize. Yep,
exactly. So you export them as images. You should be able to then export them as images, and then save them to your computer, and then upload them into a folder.
Right.
And you could name you could name it social, you could name it anything you wanted, and then send them out that way, or put other details on.
Yeah, I love it, man. This folder is awesome.
Oh, it's very cool. Very cool. So this is the YouTube thumbnail. So I created the template the same way I do have, in theory, the social media for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, I just love this. I mean, I love how you're doing this. You know, I'm getting your 7 days. I'm getting clarity about, you know, that's great. Really, 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 really good.
Excellent.
Well, I've got to get ready for my trip tomorrow.
Well, let's pause the recording and I'll just wrap it up and then I'll say farewell. So thanks everyone for watching. This has been a teleclass on how to use Canva, another Tarran tip brought to you with the intention that you can leverage what you have in your hand, have a little fun on the way. Thanks very much and talk to you again soon.